College.
college
Okay.
line.
कंपनी का है। ये कंपनी का बोलते हैं ना समझ सकते
130 students.
हैं को क्या बोलते हैं ना
Good morning, Father Labor and Father De Cruz.
Good morning,
With your,
Jessica.
Father,
Good
with
morning.
your permission and blessings, we would like to start the webinar.
Yes.
Uh, Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning. I'm very happy that
Good morning,
IQAC,
Father.
Good morning, Father.
St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, Department of Botany, in collaboration with the St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad, is have organized this webinar. The title of the webinar which is given, that is very suitable, and that is landscaping and horticulture. These days we all are very conscious about the surrounding ambience, and this particular topic will enhance our knowledge, and also we will be encouraged to work in this line of horticulture. I wish all the best, and I pray to God that good Lord may bless each one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Over to Jessica.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, sir. Bushra, please start.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. A very warm good morning to all. Hope you all are doing well. I welcome you all to this webinar organized by Department of Botany in association with St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. Now, I am Bushra Fatma and I am currently pursuing bachelor's degree in botany from St. Xavier's College, Ranchi. I'll be hosting today's webinar on landscaping and horticulture. Landscaping is basically the process of making a garden or other piece of land more attractive by altering the existing design, adding ornamental features, and planting trees and shrubs. Horticulture is the branch of plant agriculture dealing with garden crops, generally fruits, vegetables, and ornamental plants. I'll request you all to stay connected till the end to learn more about this in details. Before we get started, I would like to mention that this webinar is being recorded. So I request you all to switch on your cameras as it would become a bit interactive rather than seeing just plain names. And also the recorded version of this webinar will be available in the YouTube channel of Botany Department. Moving ahead, as we all start our day with a prayer for God grace. So before starting this webinar, I would ask Shrishti to deliver a prayer. Over to you, Shrishti.
Thank you, Bushra. Let us remember God before we head on to our webinar. Almighty God our Father, we praise and thank you for this day. Thank you for making all things possible. We are grateful for all the blessings you are pouring upon each one of us despite the challenges we all are facing currently. Thank you for blessing us today with the wonderful opportunity to meet virtually and learn together in the webinar. We come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help. We pray for your guidance in the matter at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with the spirit of joy and enthusiasm. May your blessings of wisdom and guidance be upon all us all through the sharing and impartation of knowledge and skills by our reverend speaker and facilitators. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work and help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask this in the name of Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Shrishti. Now I would like to welcome our chairperson and chief guest, Mr. Mahesh Kumar Dhakar, Senior Scientist of Horticulture in ICAR Palandu. Our speaker, Miss Ayushi Maheshwari, and we will have a detailed introduction later. Now I would like to call Priyanka Kajolakra to give a detailed introduction of speaker Ayushi Maheshwari. Miss Ayushi Maheshwari.
Good morning, everyone present here. I, a student of St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, is introducing our reverend speaker. I am really excited to introduce our speaker. She is a landscape designer who believes in seeking art in nature. She understands plants and its requirements and uses them for aesthetic of personal as well as public. The owner of Amaltas Landscape, a firm based in Ahmedabad. She also worked as a junior landscape designer for India, Landscape India in Ahmedabad. She did her schooling from Hiramani School, Ahmedabad. Graduated from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. Postgraduated in Diploma in Horticulture and Landscape Designing. She completed her MSc from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. So without any further ado, I heartily welcome Ms. Ayushi Maheshwari. Let's give her a virtual round of applause. We are really excited to hear you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. I'll just present. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a second, I'm sorry. Okay. So, my name is Ayushi, and I have been working in this field since last 5 years now. I was working at a firm for 3 years, and then I have started off on my own. My firm's name is Amaltas Landscapes. First of all, as Bushra has already said, what is landscaping? So landscaping, the definition that she has given is perfect, but along with that, it has also a lot of things like creating a space that connects you with nature. You're given a plain land, you're given a plain sheet, and then you design the space in a way where everything is being taken under consideration. Like, for example, the 4 pictures that you can see on your screen. So the first picture is from a school. It's a pre-primary school, and it has been designed in a way that it is attracting the kids to the school. So it is colorful, it has elements that might attract the kids, the benches, the turf that is there, the wall painting. All of this is, the outdoor space has been designed for a school in a way that it just justifies the whole space, and you can utilize it to the maximum. In the second picture, it is from a private farmhouse. where people can, like most of the people have farmhouses where they can just relax, and a space that calms them down from the hustle of the world is the job that we have to do. The third picture over here is a commercial space where you need to give more of a seating area where people can hang out, people can just sit, relax, chill from the breaks of their office hours or something like this. So, a space that has to be designed in a way. And the fourth one is a residential garden. A residential garden should be a space where whenever the person residing in the space comes out, sit, he feels that he is connected to nature, and the space is just along with the house. It just creates a one unit. So, and horticulture is not only just the art of growing, but also it has not only the ornamental plants, but also the food. Sometimes people who are horticulturists also do kitchen gardening. They grow ornamental trees, they grow medicinal plants. So basically anything that is except the agricultural thing is included in the horticulture. So, starting off, landscaping has a lot of parts in itself, and landscaping and horticulture are quite interconnected, as landscaping deals with the more technical area of a garden, that is designing and then giving the details of how the design has to be implemented on the site, while horticulture deals with a more practical kind of an aspect, that is how the plan that has been provided is implemented on the site, the levels that are done, the plants that are being selected, procurement of the plants, and then installation of those plants on the site, and all in all giving it a complete look is completing the space is the department of the horticulturist. Now in landscaping, when you get a site, the site, then you have to design a site. The sheet will be empty and you have to use your imagination to design the space. Now I'll show you a few designs of mine and I'll be explaining it further. So over here, this is a residential space. This is the entry parking, this is the foyer, this is the main house. From the house, this is a puja room of the client. And we have designed a space in a way that the maximum utilization of the space is there. The client wanted a butterfly garden. The client wanted a patch where they can grow medicinal plants and a lot of floral plants that can be used for offering the god. And they wanted a small pond where they can have lilies and other water plants. So we had these were the requirements that were given to us by the client, and according to that we had designed a space in a way you can always in landscape you can always play around with the curves, and depending on the client's need, if they want a more structural and a more what do you call it, symmetrical kind of a space, then you can do it with all the lines and shapes, while otherwise it just flows with the space. The second one, this one is a farmhouse. The client wanted a farmhouse which he can call a forest farm kind of a thing. So he wanted a lot of trees and a very little space, very little lawn, and he wanted a space in between the trees where he can sit and enjoy the chirping of the birds and the sound of the trees, kind of like that. So over here we've designed the space in a way that the client can walk around. If you can see the paths, He can walk around in the garden, and he has a gazebo to sit. And this is the main veranda. And from the veranda, if he's sitting in the veranda, he'll get a full panoramic view of his landscape. Uh, yes. In this one, the client just wanted normal lawn, but with a twist. So we have used two types of lawns over here. This is the normal lawn, and then this is the stenotephrine lawn. And we have played around with the curves in a way that the two lawns have two different colors, two different textures. So when the mixing of those lawn and mixing of those textures it gives a very different visual appeal to the landscape. And this is again a residential garden, and it has been designed in a way that it is utilized maximum by the kids. So there's a play area, there's a sitting area where they can play the board games. This is another area, it is under the trees, so we have put a swing set over there like this. So this is what we have imagined a space to be like that. Like we think on paper, this is what we think that it should look, or it should, while even I'm explaining it to you, so you can imagine like there's full space, full covered with trees, and there's a gazebo in middle, and you're sitting around the trees. So this is all that is on plan. When the things come on site, they are different. And from the plan to the site, the journey of a sketch plan to become a landscape is quite tedious. It includes, like when a sketch plan is being finalized, there are a lot of other detailing that has to be done. So the detailing are like a line out plan is made. A line out plan is a plan which helps the horticulturist to replicate the exact design on the paper to the site. So when we are making a design, as you can see this one, this is actually a 2.5 acre space. But on a plan, it looks very small. So to fit in the scale, so this plan has been made by 1/100 scale, and that is 100 feet equals to 1 meter. 100 feet equals to 1 mm, 1 inch. Sorry, yeah, 1 inch. And this is how it is being scaled up when it has to be implemented on the site. So the line out plan is being given out by the designer to ensure that there are no chances of error, that what we have planned exactly that has been replicated on the site. Then comes the construction details. Construction details are our plans that are the details for the hardscape. A landscape consists of a softscape and a hardscape. So the hardscape is whatever the area that are not green is hardscape. So the gazebo comes into a hardscape, the staircase comes into a hardscape, the sitting, the play area, everything that all comes into a hardscape. And the hardscape has to be designed, and a plan has to be given out with all the detailing, with the foundation and everything. Then I'm just explaining you a step by step how a plan is implemented on the site. Then comes the electrical and the irrigation. All of you must have visited some resort or a hotel where on the outdoor space there are lightings given for the evening. That ambient lighting that you see is being planned out, and the lights are being spread out in the garden in such a way that it lights up the space in a way that it's not too harsh on our eyes, but it is very much like likely you just like the whole atmosphere that light gives out. Then we give out irrigation plans. Irrigation plans is if you're having a space that is 2.5 acre, you cannot just water the whole thing by yourself or by hiring a lot of people also. You won't be able to completely water the whole space. Hence, irrigation plans are made where sprinklers are added in the garden, so that you can just automatically you just turn the knob and the water will be circulated in the garden evenly. While manually when you do it, sometimes it happens that you overwater it or you underwater it, which affects the growth of the plant. And then comes the final stage, that is the planting plan. Planting plan is the most crucial plan, and the reason is the whole landscape that you've created, that you've designed, that you've thought of will come to life once you've put the plants in the garden. And then the plants that you're putting, you just cannot put anything anywhere. You have to know which plant requires more sunlight, which plant requires less sunlight, which plant requires an east facing sunlight, a west facing sunlight. The plants which require less water are planted together, the plants which require more water are planted together. And uh, the rock, if you're making a rock garden in your space, so the rock garden is usually on a slope. So the plants that can withstand that slope, when the water will come down, it will be eroding. The slope has to be held by the plants. So such plants are planted over there. And a lot of things that are to be taken under consideration while making a planting plan for any space. Then this then you have to take in consideration, that is the color scheme. You cannot plant all the yellows or all the blues or all the pinks together, because that won't give a very if you're planning a lutea garden, that is a yellow themed garden or a white themed garden, then you can definitely do that. But in a normal garden, if you have just all the pinks together, all the yellows together, then there are chances that they might flower at the same time, or they might just, it gets very, because if as a botanist we might know that these are different plants, for a layman it is just yellow. So they would come up with a thing that you have just planted all the yellows or you just planted all the pinks, there's no color in the garden, and we cannot, like, we are not enjoying just a unicolor garden, and we want some spark in the garden. So you have to plan your planting plan according to that. Then comes the season. If you're planting one season plants together, then they'll bloom at one time and then they'll be green the whole year. So you have to give your client, or you have to plan your design planting plan in a way that every season there's something for the person to look up to. Like in the winters, there are a lot of annuals that are coming up. You may plant that for the winters. In the summers, there are a lot of bulbs coming out that you can plant in middle of the garden somewhere. Uh, and every season has its own thing, so you can accordingly, you have to plan according to that. In the spring you'll have all the tabuvias flowering, you'll have butias flowering, and then again during the August, September, October time, you'll have all the bohemias that are flowering. So in the summers you will have Acacia fistula, you'll have gulmohars, etc. So season every season should be appealing in a garden. In a garden, whenever somebody walks in, they shouldn't feel that this is all green, there's nothing to see. So accordingly you have to plan. Then comes the leaf shape. You cannot plant small leaf shaped plants together, you have to design it in a way. So all of that comes with experience, and all of that, when you keep reading, when you keep looking and observing the gardens, existing gardens around you, you'll know the designer or the gardener, whosoever has planned, will be planting the plants in such a way that whenever you walk by, you'll have something or the other to see. Okay. So for the designing, this is one of the sites that we have done. It has been completed 6 months back. So this was the site when we had reached there. The first time when I took a visit, this was the site, completely plain land, and the client had just added manure in the soil and left it like that. This was the space how we designed it. The client wanted this was his parking space, and this was his entry of the house. So he wanted a pathway that is covered with the plantation, from where, like, he should not be able to see the garden from the pathway. So accordingly we had designed the space. And he wanted a lawn that can accommodate at least 25 to 30 people if they're gathering. So he wanted a space that big. So the lawn, when you make it in a square shape, the corners are not being used. So I designed the garden in a way that it is a very wavy shape, where if somebody is standing here or here, anywhere, they can use the whole space overall. And this is the garden right now. So we have added a swing set, we have a sitting space, a whole lawn area, quite a big lawn area where they can accommodate a lot of people. This is the garden lawn area that we have done of St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. So this is the space when we had just the old lawn that was there. It had a lot of weeds. So we had to remove the whole 1 feet layer of the lawn. And then we had put in manure, and we had put in riverside soil to, sorry, to nourish the whole land. And then we had leveled the land, and this is the garden now. So in over here also we had used 2 types of lawns. This is the stenotephrem and this is the English lawn. The reason of this is that on the edges, as you can see, there are whole asopalaf trees around here, and this side also there were peltoforums. So due to the shade, the lawn was not growing. So stenotephrem lawn does not require a lot of sunlight. It grows in a semi-shade atmosphere. Hence, we had planted the stenotephrem on the edges all around, and the English lawn in the center. So this is the rock garden again from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. So this was a rock garden in the start. It was all the stones were not placed and everything. So we had arranged the stones and made the whole space. And this is the rock garden now. Yeah, another one. This was the land that we had reached, and when it is leveled and everything is done, and then we add manure. So manure is added like this. The labor here, if you can see. So everything is being done manually in landscape until and unless the space is too big. So this is the garden now. So we had designed a pond on this corner. These are the 2 mounds. This is the pool that has been designed by the architect, and the whole planting. The whites that you can see over here are the poinsettias. And over here we had done a lot of petunias. So we had given, the picture is like recently being clicked in December. So given a lot of winter flowering also, and then slowly when the spring will approach, there are caesalpinias behind, and then there are nicodevias around here. So that will give another flowering when the spring will come. This is the site before, and once the plantation was done and everything was done, this is the site after that. This is Khoj Museum in Ahmedabad. Uh, yeah. So all of it that I've shown you, the overall, the reason why I've shown you is that when we look up on Google or Pinterest, we see pictures like these that interests us, and we feel like, yeah, we can do this, and it is quite an interesting job. We'll be able to stay connected with nature, we'll be creating spaces, and a lot of thoughts that come into a young mind. It did come to me as well when I was starting off in my career. I used to think that it is quite an easy task. You have to design it on paper, then you have to give the detailing, and then it is being done on the site. But there is a lot more that is there in the between. Uh, Along with the designing that exists, you have to take care of a site, you have to take care of the site coordination, like the plan that you have made, is that plan exactly replicated on the site? You have to check that. You have to take care that there are like the varieties of the plants that are being brought in the campus, in the college, sorry, in the site, are exactly the ones that you have selected, because there are a lot of plants that are invasive in nature. For example, lantana. So there are a lot of varieties of lantana available out there. When you go, there are white colored lantanas, purple, yellow, red, the normal lantana camara that we get. All of that is available. But selection of the plant, what exactly the variety you want in your garden, has to be done. That is also your job when you it comes to be a landscape designer or a horticulturist. Along with that, a lot of struggles that you might go through during your, because a lot of people come into this line, a lot of people think that the job is mostly sitting in a chair designing and then going on a site once or twice and it's done. It's not like that. You rarely get to sit in the chair, and you're most of the time outside in the sun. You're the whole day you have to stand and you have to get the work done. You have to explain each and everything to the supervisor, to the labor, to everybody. And there are a lot of things that come along, like if on the side there are civil consultants over there, that civil engineers are there, or some other agencies are there, you have to coordinate accordingly, because when civil work is being done, you cannot do your landscape, because the cement and other things that just come in the dust might hinder the system, the ecosystem that you're trying to create in the soil. And then even a little bit or the slightest of the dirt comes in, and matlab, you won't see it now, but after 7 8 months you'll see that the plant is not growing. Only one patch of plant is not growing. You put in more manure, you put in a lot of things, you put in fertilizers, pesticides, etc., etc., but it won't be helpful after a certain time, because the damage has been done quite before. So you have to take care of all of that, and many other things that are to be done. Yeah. So, how do you start your career as a landscape designer, or as a horticulturist, or urban planner, or environmental planner? There are a lot of things that are actually interconnected to each other. And not only for landscape designing or landscape architecture, you can pursue a lot of things that are related to that. uh, so first of all, as a student, you'll have to do a lot of research, that what exactly you want to do. There are a lot of fields that are related to landscape, related to horticulture, that might be more appealing to you than the main subject. So you need to first of all do research of what is more interesting for you. So you want to do landscape architecture, landscape designing, you want to go with horticulture. You want to do urban planning. Urban planning is basically a part of architecture where urban spaces that are the local, are street side, matlab roadsides, medians, etc., are being designed and plantation is being done. And environmental planning is the empty spaces that government gives out, and a lot of factories and a lot of other agencies give out, where you have to do plantation according to a pollution control. Probably they would want a plantation that just fills up the space as soon as possible. A lot of things related to that. So first of all, searching for what exactly you want to do is the first step when you are planning to start a career in this field. The second step is an internship or a work ex. So I'm assuming most of the students that who have joined are from BSc. So all of you, many of you might take a drop year for net, set preparation, or probably after MSc you start preparing for net set. You might take a drop year for that. So I'm not suggesting to take any drop here, but just try to get in touch with any of the landscape designer or horticulturist in your own city, in your own vicinity, where you get access uh, to the local flora and local fauna of that space. And that person, you do an internship with them for like 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, whatever it is, your choice. And try to understand, are you made for this field? Are you really enjoying going on the site? Are you really enjoying all of this? Like if you're not enjoying in doing something, then it will be just a pressure to do something. So it's better that you always take an experience, not only for landscape but for anything. Try to get an internship. In this field, an online internship won't work for you. So a normal internship that is giving you site exposure, you can go for it. And if you feel that yes, I can do it and I am really interested in it, then you have to check out colleges and places that are offering courses for the specific subjects that you are looking up to. So, specifically for landscape architecture in India, you require a master's degree in botany or in any biological sciences, and then you need a 2 to 3 years of work experience in the relevant field. Relevant field, relevant field, as in you have to work with some architect, you have to work with some designer or a horticulturist probably, and you have to get an experience for at least 2 to 3 years and build up a portfolio that is strong enough, because uh, this course is usually done by architects after they're done with their architectural degree. So for them there is no such terms and conditions, but for us there are, because we don't have the technical knowledge of the field, which the architects already have. Hence, you need a 2 years of work experience after your masters. And the colleges, the major colleges that are offering these courses in India are CEPT University and SPA Delhi and KG Somaya in Mumbai. And there are many more. You can always look up on the internet. You will find more. But these are the major colleges that provide like good quality education as well. Then if you're pursuing for your further studies abroad, depending on the location that you're selecting, the course might have, the duration of the course might differ. So for UK and Singapore, the course is 1 to 1.5 year, while other countries like Australia, New Zealand, US, etc., are 2 years course plus 6 months of internship. So it goes up like this. Um, yeah. So I think I have covered almost all the things that are supposed to be taken care of while selecting a career in landscape and horticulture. Uh, Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an insightful lecture. It was really nice hearing from you.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. This is Satyam Gupta from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. I
Yes.
just wanted to know that after designing a certain landscape or certain garden, is it the job of that person who has designed that garden to maintain that particular area for a specific time? Is it included in the job?
It depends if the client asks or the client requires the designer to keep visiting and maintaining the garden, then it can be done. Otherwise, a horticulturist or the contractor who has developed the garden usually give 2 to 6 months of maintenance after the development, and later on, if the client asks or requires more time for, like, if they want to give a maintenance contract to the contractor or the horticulturist, then they may.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning, Aishi ma'am.
Good
As,
morning, Jessica.
as I know that you have done your master's in botany and specialization in plant taxonomy, may I know, does that help you anywhere in this field?
Yes, Jessica. The master's in taxonomy has helped me a lot in this field, and the reason is I can understand when you're making a planting plan, and when you're procuring the plant material from the nurseries, you have to know exactly what variety it is, and that requires keen observation, because you cannot just look at a plant and tell this is this plant. And even, like, for example, if I say in eranthemums, there are more than like 7 to 8 varieties out there. And when you go to the nursery and you tell the nursery person, this is eranthemum, I want eranthemum, he will put 7 plants in front of you. Which one do you want? Exactly. So you need to understand, and doing taxonomy, like after studying taxonomy, I have learned how to differentiate between two varieties or two species of plants with observation. And that has actually helped me with the work that I'm doing. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Good morning, ma'am. First of all, very thank you for a lecture. And ma'am, I want to ask that, ma'am, there are certain precautions in every field. So, do you want to suggest some precautions in the designing of landscaping and etc.?
As such, when you're on the field, when you're on the site, you'll have to take a lot of precautions regarding the site work that's going on. Overall, while you're designing a space, precautions as such, when you're designing a space, the space, you just have a plain paper and you have to design as per your own imagination, right? सो उस इमेजिनेशन पे तो कोई प्रिकॉशंस या कुछ ऐसे, यू कैन नॉट जस्ट पुट एनी बाउंडेशंस ऑन दैट, but while designing you should always take care of the directions that you're using. If you're putting a lawn in the right direction, otherwise you might not get enough sunlight to grow the lawn over there, or some plant that requires a specific type of an atmosphere, so you have to take care of each of those things while designing that. The directions, then majorly you have to take care of the directions and the requirements that are being given out by the client. So there might be chances that you do not 100% follow the requirements that have been given out by the client, but you have to more or less mend it or just twist and turn it in your way to present it in front of the client. Then rest, when you keep on designing, you'll understand more and more things and you'll get to know.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. This is Stephen from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad.
Hi, Stephen.
So, ma'am, my question is that how much of the field is dependent upon the software work? Because nowadays we have seen that there are a lot of software available for designing. I mean, for especially for landscape designing, like AutoCAD and stuff like that. So, how do we compete with people? I mean, you know that in architecture field they're already taught AutoCAD, but we
Yes.
in our BSc syllabus we do not have some anything sort of that. I mean, which is not nearly as good as that. So how do we compete with that? Because pen and paper it cannot be used everywhere. So
Correct, Stephen. So, what you can do, like while you're studying, while like as I suggested, internships. So, along with internships, there are some soft skills that you can brush up on. So, you can go up online, you can search courses that are available that teach you AutoCAD, and it does not take a long time to learn AutoCAD. It takes max 1 month to learn all the commands and everything. And then again you have to keep practicing and practicing, and you will be good enough as an architect when you keep practicing that. Also, there are other softwares that are available for landscape along with AutoCAD. There is Revit, there is SketchUp, there is 3ds Max, etc. So SketchUp and 3ds Max are softwares basically for 3D modeling. Sometimes it is as I've shown you the 2D designs of the plans that are shown are on in 2D. So you're viewing the top view of the plan. So sometimes the client might demand from you that I cannot understand what you're trying to show. मेरे को आप जैसे imagine कर पा रहे हो in the 2D. I cannot imagine. So at that point of time, you have to make a model. Before they used to make a proper model with a cardboard and paper mache and stuff, but now we have tools that can be employed for that, and like 3ds Max and SketchUp are used for that purpose. We make 3D models of the landscape, which gives more and less an idea to the client that yeah, this is something like that might be the final view. Yes.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ayushi,
Before we
madam.
take any question,
Yes, Father.
Jessica, can I ask?
Yes, Father, sure, please go
Okay.
on.
Jessica, ma'am, Ayushi, ma'am, I have, from my observation in the last couple of years, one, there is a lot more interest among students to go for gardening, landscaping among botany, basic botany students. Okay, so that is one point. Second point is, from your experience, is there a larger demand now for botanists for gardening experts of this type? Is there a greater market now over the last few years because more societies need garden and whatever the reason will be there? So is that there? Is that in your experience? Because that would give a very good idea to the students that what is the demand in the market, and are there sufficient people really to provide that help, or is this a field now which is waiting for more people to get in and to be good at it? And the third point, then maybe you can comment, is I think the, the the gardening expert, the botanist, needs to complement the architecture person in some respects. It's not about both having the same set of skills. So the botanist brings an additional set of skills which the landscaper is not able to acquire as part of his training. So what are some of those skills? I think these 2 or 3 points, if you can enlighten the students, it will be useful.
Yes, Father. So right now the demand in the market for a botanist in the landscape field is actually, it is emerging. Before, what happened, like in the olden times, it was like the landscape architect had a list of plants and he will plant and he will plan from those plants only. But now people have started shifting and people have started reading more about the plants. So, and they've started using indigenous species. They've started making gardens that are ecologically rich, where they can attract a lot of local fauna and stuff like that. And in this particular thing, when selecting the plants, what plants are to be taken up, the architects lack this skill, where they can actually they need the help of a botanist, as the botanist is being trained, and to know at least if you're living in Ranchi, when you're done with your masters, you might know the local plants around you, and not only the horticultural varieties but the indigenous species, and how to use those indigenous species in a landscape. This is one of the most trendiest thing in landscape designing these days. So basically the thing is that people have started understanding the requirement and the need of a green space around them, because most of the people nowadays live in flats where they don't have a lot of space around them. So gardening has become a major interest for them, because after lockdown, people have understood the importance of nature, and people have understood that we have to preserve all the things that are there with us. And here comes a botanist in a picture that sorry, they can help the people to know what plants are suitable there, to help them grow them, and what are the requirements of those plants. I hope I've made a, like I've said right, Father.
No, I think excellent answer.
Okay.
I think very, very useful for young people, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, Father, can you repeat your second point, the third point?
I think you have answered them basically. You said there is an increased demand. You specifically described, I think, the type of skills that the botany students bring in, and the need also. You mentioned indigenous.
Okay.
Father, can I add to the answer given by the Jessica? A few points more I want to add on this. Can I speak?
Yes, Mahesh, sir.
Okay. Father, nicely explained by the Jessica about your question. Different means what is the role of architecture and what is the role of
Ayushi is the speaker, sir. Ayushi is the speaker.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm audible, na?
Yes, sir, you're very audible. Ayushi is the speaker.
Okay. So Aish is very well explained about the role of architecture and the botanist or horticulturist. Here he nicely explained the role of botanist. He knows the indigenous plants and what ecology required at that place. So one example, sir, I want to give here. One of the architecture do the landscaping of the Dhoni farm. You all know the Dhoni, the famous cricketer. So while he planned and he did the whatever the landscaping, and he bring many plants which are not means origin of India. So after 1 or 2 years, the all plants are sudden dying. So they then they asked the help from our center from ICR, and we visited that place. So we see many of the plants which are not suited for the our is condition in Ranchi, but they are planted in that condition. So here the role of botanist or the horticulturist came. They know the nature of the plant, which climate it required, which type of soil it required. So the architecture mainly do the landscaping of the larger area. They will not satisfy the our middlemen or the small owners of a house which require very small area for gardening or landscaping. So here the botanist or horticulturist can play a major role to fulfill that gap, and this is the area where the business is available for the botanist. So there is a great business opportunity to do the landscaping for the smaller area for the middlemen or the local persons. So this is I want to add further. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hello, ma'am. This is Kronal Jala from Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. I want to ask one question.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the challenges generally a landscape designer facing while dealing with clients?
So it depends person to person, Krunal. It might be sometimes you might get a client that is very easygoing and they really don't know exactly what is there in this field. And at that point of time, it's easier to educate somebody who knows nothing than to educate somebody who thinks they know it. So that's the biggest challenge. Many people think that they know what is gardening, they know what is landscaping, they know how it has to be done. But dealing with such people is that the only way to deal with somebody who thinks that they know is that let them think and do your job. Slowly and gradually things will fall into place.
Okay.
Yeah, Kunal.
Thank you.
Then there are other people who are already knowing and probably like that. So you keep meeting new people from different fields and different mindset, and slowly and gradually you get to know how to deal with them. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ayushi. If there are any questions, I'm sure Ayushi ma'am will be glad to share her email address to address these things. Now, in the view of the events, I would like to state, because the two colleges are collaborating for this webinar, I would like to invite Ms. Akansha Mehto to kindly give a brief introduction of St. Xavier's College Ranchi, which will be followed by Anushka Rani. She'll be introducing, giving a brief introduction on St. Xavier's College Ahmedabad. Handing it over to Akansha.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Good morning, respected principals, chairperson, speaker, organizing secretary, faculty members of both the colleges, and my dear friends. St. Xavier's College Ranchi is an autonomous college affiliated to Ranchi University. It is located in the Indian state of Jharkhand. It was founded in 1944 by the Patna provinces of the Society of Jesus, a Catholic religious order that traces its origin to Saint Ignatius of Loyola in 1540. Currently, the institution is being headed by Principal Reverend Dr. Father Nabor Lakra S.J. Area of campus is around 29.8 acres. It has accredited by NAC with grade A in 2013. The motto of the college is Lucius et Ardens, which means spreading light and burning bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Akansha. It was very nice introduction. Now moving on to a brief introduction of St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad, which will be given by Ayushi Rani. Over to you, Ayushi. Anushka Rani, sorry. Anushka. Over to you, Anushka.
Thank you, Bushradi. Good morning, respected principals, chairperson, speaker, organizing secretary, and faculty members of both the colleges. St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad is an autonomous higher education institute located in Indian state of Gujarat. It was founded in 1955. It is the only grant in 8 Christian institute. This prestigious institute is run by the Society of Jesus and was founded by Charles Jones. Currently, the institute is being headed by Dr. Father Lancelot de Cruz. St. Xavier's is affiliated to Gujarat University, being one of the first college in the state of Gujarat to have been accredited by NAC in the year 2001 with 5 stars. The college has been ranked in the top college by GSIRF, NIRF, the India Today, and the Week survey of the best college. Area of the campus is around 26 acres. So Xavier's is not just a college, it is the way of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. Thank you for introduction. So, good morning, everyone. Here is a big and hearty welcome to everyone. I am Kumari Divya, a student of St. Xavier College, Ranchi. So, I would like to welcome each and everyone present here. To those who believe in the power of dreams and would like to explore the science and life with us. So, with this, I feel proud to be a part of such an elite institution where we are being taught by such a passionate and dedicated professor who proved to be the best we can ever wish for. So, with this, I would like to introduce you all our distinguished guest, Dr. Mahesh Kumar Thakar, as our respected chairperson. He is a senior scientist of horticulture at ICAR Palandu, measuring in fruit science. He, um, he is a gold medalist in Masters measuring in fruit science from Maharana Pratap Agriculture University and Technology, Udaipur. He earned doctorate from ICAR, IARI, New Delhi, and was also awarded with DST Inspired Fellowship from Department of Science and Technology. He was also in the position of Scientist of Fruit Science at ICAR Patna for almost 7 years. He also won Young Scientist Award at International Conference of Food and Agriculture, was awarded with the Best Doctoral Thesis Award, and was also given Senior Research Fellowship from ICAR, and so much more that I would fumble to make you count. So, and I would really like to thank for sharing his valuable time and precious presence. Now, please, sir, allow me to invite you to give your views and insight us with your valuable experience and knowledge. A very welcome, sir, and I'm handing it over to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to ask you to, sir, give you your views.
Yes, hello. Can I audible now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. The most respectable principal of St. Xavier College, Ranchi, respected principal of St. Xavier College, Ahmedabad, our beloved HOD of Botany, today's organizing secretary, Jessica, and the speaker, today's speaker, Ayushi. Very good morning to all of you and all the students and faculty members. Very nicely, Ayushi presented about the landscaping and the way he described his own journey and how she formulated his own business after getting the knowledge of landscaping. So this is very commendable. Congratulations to the, Ayushi for taking the lead in the landscaping, and this is the startup, and and this is the era of now entrepreneurship where horticulture will play a major role. Most of the startup in agriculture, mostly they are concentrating more in the horticulture sector only. So in previous in during our study, many times we gone through the literature, maybe in some of the books, the gardening started from the Mughals, and before that also. Many times we see the formal gardens, like you can take the example of Taj Mahal. Is the perfect example of formal garden. So at that time also the landscaping was present, and how they designed the landscaping of this Taj Mahal. It is very adorable. And another other side, if we can take the example of informal gardens like Japanese garden, where all the things are placed in a informal way, but they are nicely arranged. So this two type of design is very famous in the landscaping and this gardening style. But now the era is changed. The young people are coming and they're giving their own dimension to this landscaping. Like Ayushi is presented very well how she designing the landscaping of a particular area. Many factors which we have to keep in the mind. So largely this horticulture also giving the startup opportunity in the production, in the processing, and in the landscaping. Landscaping and ornamental nursery, these two are the very interlinkable. If you are doing the landscaping, then you have to have a good knowledge of this ornamental nurseries or plants. So you botanist, you all know about the how is the behavior of plant, how it will grow, what type of climate, what type of soil is required. This is the your area, and you have to explore this area for the your own business, or you can create a company or startup by group of people or group of students. But I will give one some examples, or how you can diversify this landscaping also. Many times the students started the landscaping the way other companies are doing, but you have to do something different from that companies or that enterprises. So some of the innovations you have to add in your landscaping. If I can give the example, like some of the nurseries, like in the maybe you can see in the Goa or some of the landscaping areas, they developed in a way that people are coming to watch these gardens. So it is like it is like it is say like a nursery tourism or ornamental gardening and tourism. It is very famous, this type of tourism, in the UK, New Zealand, Kenya. But in India, it is very, I think it is in the very early stage. Only some of the states are having the good landscaping farms where people are visiting, they are relaxing. Maybe they have some of the facility of hotels also. So our nature, like Western Ghats, like in our Ranchi, we have very good forest area. So if one can organize a wild garden here, or some landscaping they can plan in the hillocks or hilly area, then it will be a very good journey to start their own venture. Many times our forest lands or forest plants also providing very useful products. Like one of the entrepreneur from the Nasik, they started the collecting the wild seeds from the forest, and they started the one of the good venture which convert this forest seeds in a different ornamentals. You can see, you will find the success story of Shilpa Danke. So they are organizing the forest produce which are left there, or they are not usable at that time, but now they are collecting the seeds of different types, and they are making the earrings, necklace, or other things also. Likewise, one of the unique example in the Maharashtra, again one of the person from Maharashtra, Mr. Anand, he developed a unique landscape of ornamental bamboos and the other more than 25 variety of green bamboo he planted in the outskirts of the Mumbai. So people are going there to visit this unique bamboo gardens, and he is getting very good earnings from this type of gardening. So our one of the ICR institute, that is ICR Directorate of Floriculture Research. This institute is pioneering in the area of landscaping and floriculture. It is situated in the Pune, and you can see, like Ayush is giving the example of many times he's talked about the our local plants, our wild plants, how we can incorporate them in the our landscaping or in the nursery. So you can see a lot of series of webinars are available on the site of Directorate of Floriculture Research, where you can see the which type of local flora and fauna can be used in our landscaping. Or if the students are interested to visit, or if they want some type of diploma or some of training, they can contact our this institute, ICR Directorate of Floriculture Research. So apart from this, this institute is mainly dealing with the floriculture and landscaping. But other than this, many ICR institute and universities having the floriculture department. So if someone is interested in the ornamental nursery or maybe in the landscaping, they can contact to the nearby university or the ICR institute, where they will find the person who is specialized in that area. Like in our Ranchi, we have the British Agriculture University, where we have the floriculture department. In our center ICR, we have some of the horticulturists, and many times our ICR institute having the facility of agri incubation center, where we the interested people which or students who are coming with the great ideas, we are backing them in with our project like agri incubation, where we are providing the training skill, and we are starting their business. So we are helping in developing the business ideas, as well as how the biggest problem is starting a business is the funding. So many ICR institute, many government agencies and many schemes are coming to provide the funding also. I can give the example like National Horticulture Mission. It is the national body who is working on the prosperity of the horticulture, and floriculture and landscaping is the one of the part. So one can get easy funding from this National Horticulture Mission, National Horticulture Board. Many times you can find the our NABARD is also giving the some of the funding. So students can start their business by getting the funds from this government institutions, and they can join hands with one of the any ICR institute or any university. There they can give the ideas, or they train them in their interest, whatever their interest is there. So if anyone is interested, please visit our this institute, ICR Director of Floriculture Research in Pune, so that you will get the opportunity of learning of landscaping. So I enjoyed a lot the presentation of Ayushi, and I am thankful to the principal of both the colleges, and Ajay Srivastava sir of HOD of Botany, and Jessica. This is all about from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a great opportunity hearing from you. Now, the link for the feedback form is given in the chat box. It will just take 2 minutes to fill it. I will request you all to please click on that link and fill the form. By doing so, you will receive the certificate via your email shortly.
एक बात मैं
Now I
कहूँ,
would request Now I would request and invite Dr. Father Lancelot de Cruz to share, to give a few words.
Hello. So, Father Nabor, Principal of St. Xavier's Ranchi, and Dr. Srivastava sir, HOD, and the other professors, and our guest Mahesh Bhai, and our speaker Ayushi. I think it has been a very interesting collaborative seminar that has been organized in collaboration between the two colleges. I think the it's good that students have an example of somebody like them. So Ayushi till 3 years ago was a student of Xavier's College Bombay. And she went to do her masters in Xavier's College Ahmedabad. She went to do a masters in Xavier's Bombay, and I think Jessica has also done her masters there. And to listen to their own experience, their own passion, their own interest, how a passion and how an interest in a subject actually becomes a source of livelihood, and what is the potential of that. I think that is very, very interesting to hear that, and it's good to see botany students actually looking at different options and new options of careers. I think that is very, very important. So I think it's a very good initiative and must be encouraged. And I think we had some very interesting information which was given to us by by Dr. Mahesh about the possibilities in terms of horticulture, in terms of what the government is offering. He spoke about incubation, he spoke about internships. So that is something that I think we all can explore still more, and we can see really how to make our programs, everybody who does a master, who does a graduate degree, who does a master's degree need not clear net and slet and need not go for PhD. And it's not true that PhDs, jobs in the country are only meant for PhD. In fact, the new education policy sort of insists that, we equip people at a younger age with interest and with skills in order to really make their living and to make a very valuable contribution to society. So there's a lot of awareness coming about greenery, about gardening, about biodiversity back into the urban landscapes, and that is very, very important. So thank you very much. I think Srivastav sir and your team at Xavier's Ranchi, and I think it has been a very good initiative. Let's see how we can really take it forward. Thank you, Ayushi, for the excellent talk, and thank you, Mahesh sir.
Thank you, Father. Now I would request Father Nibur Lakra, Principal Rachi, to say a few words. I think there's some network issue.
Yeah, there is some network issue with
Let-
Father Principal Father Nabor.
Okay, then let's move on. I would like to call Ajay sir, HOD of Botany Department, to say a few words.
कहा जाता है ना कि जब चार दोस्त मिल जाते हैं तो मजा आ जाता है, लेकिन जब चार एकेडमिशियंस मिल जाते हैं तो सारी दुनिया को मजा आ जाता है। तो यहाँ वही बात है। फादर नाबोर, फादर डिक्रूज और मिस जेसिका एंड Mahesh Thakur, when these four got together, they have stirred up the thoughts of thinking process of so many students. I'm sure about it. And ladies and gentlemen, Jharkhand is a place. It has many ups, hills and hillocks, and many. The overall topography is very much undulated. So here there is big possibility of landscaping thing. ऐसा होता है ना कि जब एक जमीन खरीदे, यहाँ मकान बनाना है या कोई स्कूल खोलना है, इंस्टीट्यूशन खोलना है या हॉस्टल बनाना है, तो हम कहते हैं कि हमारे साथ सबसे बड़ी समस्या है कि जमीन समतल नहीं है, थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे है। तो जैसे लॉकडाउन में हमने देखा ना कि लॉकडाउन से इंस्टीट्यूशन बंद हो गए, लेकिन अब ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होने के कारण इतने दूर दूर से हम लोग जुड़ जा रहे हैं, तो उस चैलेंज को हम अपॉर्चुनिटी में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। लाइकवाइज द अनड्यूलेटेड surfaces that are in Jharkhand and maybe Gujarat also, some parts of Gujarat also, it's quite possible that we can convert that into an opportunity for making a better landscape and a better looking house and building. So, ladies and gentlemen, young friends, look at the world from a different view from today on, and wherever you find things going, it getting difficult, take it as a challenge to overcome, and take it as and convert it into an opportunity to get the things better than it was before. So thank you very much, Ms. Maheshwari. Your lecture was absolutely overwhelming. The participants, you raised many good issues. Dr. Mahesh, you opened up the horizon as a chairperson. You did wonderfully well, and I'm very happy that the two institutions have opened the heart in the face of these challenging times to get together in the interest of the students and the society. Hats off to the organizer, Ms. Jessica, and the students. You have done very well. We need to build on from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call in Dipshika Tirki to conclude this webinar with a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bushra. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so a very hearty morning to one and all present here. This is Deepshika, a student of St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, and it's my immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for today's event. Firstly, I would like to thank the principals of both the colleges, Father Nabor Lakra, the principal of St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, Father Dr. Lancelot de Cruz, the principal of St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad, for taking out time from their busy schedule and gracing us with their presence. Thank you, Father. I would also like to thank the chairperson for today's event, Dr. Mahesh Kumar Dakar, for graciously accepting our invitation and consisting us to be the chairperson for today's event. Sir, your speech was highly inspiring, and thank you for those words of wisdom. And here I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to today's speaker, Ms. Ayushi Maheshwari. Ma'am, you were such a stunner today. The way you tackled your question were commendable. And I 100% believed on the idea that you shared that we should devote our early 20s in exploring rather than sticking to a field. We should be focusing on developing our skill set and exploring as much as we can so that in our later 30s, we can follow or do the job that we genuinely love. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insights, your wisdom, and your knowledge with us. That too, selflessly, ma'am. We were honored to have you today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Here, I would like to take a few moments and thank Dr. Ajay Srivastava, sir, the head of Department of Botany, St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, who from past 2 years, ever since the pandemic happened, had leveraged on every opportunity to provide us with more. So be it conducting these webinars, these online events, or even by sharing your small life lessons in the classes, you always make sure that we not only grow as a professional in a college, but also as an individual in our lives. And for that, sir, we can't be more grateful. Thank you so much, sir. Here, I would also like to thank Dr. Madhulika Singh, ma'am. Ma'am, the only thing that we don't like about the final year is that we are not having any classes with you. And to have you today was an immense joy for us, ma'am. Thank you so much. Here, I would also like to thank Father P.K. Soren for blessing us with his presence. Yeah, I would also like to thank Mrs. Jessica Rene Hansta, the head of organizing committee for today's webinar, for constantly motivating and encouraging us. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was glad to have a mentor like you. Here, I would also like to thank my friends, the students of both the colleges who have been like working hard for the past few days to make this webinar a successful one. I must say, guys, your hard work really did pay off. So congratulations. And I would also like to give a big shout out to you guys, the audience, the student of St. Xavier's College Ahmedabad, the students of St. Xavier's College Ranchi, for actively participating in the Q&A round, for patiently listening to us for more than about an hour. So thank you guys for your high spirits. We really honor that. Thank you. Well, that's all from my side. Thank you and have a nice day. Over to you, Bushra.
Thank you so much, Dipshika. Now we will be ending this meeting. Thank you everyone for joining this meeting. Thank you. Now I would like to call Jessica, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Bushra. Very well done. Thank you, Father De Cruz and Father Nabor. Thank you, Ajay sir, and all the faculty members of both these prestigious institutions. Dear students, I hope you learned something, and hopefully in the future we'll keep organizing such events. Thank you, everyone. Please fill the feedback form in the chat box to receive your e-certificates.
Thank you, everyone. Very nicely organized. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
The camera is on? No,